Hello, welcome to the Quick Take here on the Fulhamish YouTube channel. Sammy here, looking back at last night's win over Leeds United at the Cottage. A nice, comfortable one through to the quarterfinals for the first time since the 2009-2010 season. I can't believe it's been that long since a quarterfinal. It feels ages away. That was the Europa League season. I remember it very well. We got to a quarterfinal against Spurs, drew with them at the Cottage, lost the replay. It was a bit disappointing, really. But because we had Europe, I guess we were a little bit distracted. And yeah, get your comments in, get your questions in. I'll run through the game and then I'll kind of answer through all of your comments before the end of the video. And yeah, I thought it was a comfortable win, but we rode our luck. Is that fair to say? I think on another night, that could have been a lot more uncomfortable, really. I thought that Leeds kind of came out the blocks better than we did. I was surprised by our lineup. I thought it was stronger in places than I expected it to be. I didn't expect to see Mitro back. That was a really nice bonus. I thought even if he was fit, I thought he'd be on the bench. I didn't think Marco would risk him for this. I guess a sign of Marco respecting the cup and also just realizing how crucial Mitro is to our system. But I find it mad that just an extra 4 days was enough to get him a starting berth, not just an appearance off the bench. But anyway, we really benefited from having him back. There was a few changes. Marek Rodak in goal, Cedric Suarez making his full debut, Sasa Lukic in the middle. I think we all expected Lukic, given the upcoming Palhinha ban. We need Lukic to get up to fitness. It was a no-brainer for him to play in this match. And then you had Solomon Wilson on the wings. Again, fully expected. I guess with Solomon as well, we need to get him up to 90 minutes. And Wilson as well, coming back to fitness, makes sense. These cup games have been really helpful to get the squad back firing and to spread the minutes across the team. We didn't see Levin Kazawa. He's picked up what looks like quite a nasty injury. I think he's probably out for the season now. So Anthony Robinson was at left back. I wonder if Kazawa would have started yesterday had he been fit. But anyway, moot point. And Tosin came in for Diop as well. But yeah, I thought we rode our luck a little bit at first, if I'm being honest. I thought it was quite a soft goal. Quite a soft decision for Leeds to be disallowed that goal. A push on Wilson. I can see it. And I guess because the referee called it in time, then like the decision stands. I think there's no way VAR's overturning that, in my opinion. And I didn't really see what it was at the time. But the referee's called it, and it's not a clear and obvious error from the referee. There is a push there. So I totally agree with why VAR doesn't overturn it. I'm sure Leeds fans will be frustrated at that, though, because I think they go 1-0 in the lead, and then it's a completely different game. And the game kind of turned on its head, really, just with that magnificent opener from João Palhinha. It was just brilliant. I mean, if it's not the goal of the FA Cup, it's going to have to be something special to beat it. To tackle Rojo in the middle of the pitch, take the ball like that, and Melia just doesn't expect it. But even if he did, that is in off the post stuff. I'm not sure many keepers are getting near that. It's a wonderful hit from João Palhinha. He's got it in the locker, hasn't he? We haven't seen a João Palhinha special for a little while. He did score against Southampton, but it was a header at the back post. It wasn't. I don't think we've really seen João Palhinha hit one like that since the Forest game. Which was obviously a fantastic strike. So yeah, a really special moment. And it kind of gave us the control, really. There was a few more nervy moments, especially towards the end of the first half. I thought Leeds could have made a bit more of some of their chances. They did put the ball in the net. Clearly offside, though. There was no debate about whether those goals should have stood. But there was a few moments. They hit the post. I'm not sure what Rodak was doing. He was all over the place. There was a few more crosses into the box, which Leeds should have done more with. And that's why I say I think we rode our luck last night. Second half, I thought we improved, especially at the start of the second half. And I thought when we got our second goal, I think it was with the run of play. And Manor Solomon, once again, Peter Rutzler has now described that area just outside the box where Manor Solomon scored against both Wolves and Leeds is now the zone of Solomon. If he gets there, he's going to score every single time. And now, I mean, teams are going to be so aware of Solomon wanting to get into that area. And I love that. Yes, okay, teams are going to try and stop him doing that. But as soon as teams are aware that like a player can't go in a certain part of the pitch, that gives you a hell of a lot of power, because I just think that teams are going to be second guessing what you're going to be doing all the time. And then for a winger like Solomon, who preys on defenders guessing which way he's going to go and then manipulating them. What a player we have on our hands. Someone that can just do that every single. He must practice that in training every day, and it's just paying off for him. 4 goals in 4 games, brilliant from Manor Solomon. And then towards the end of the game, Fulham lost control. Absolutely lost control of the game. And Leeds made a couple of substitutions, which really caused us problems, particularly Brendan Aronson. Thought Patrick Bamford came on and also caused a few problems as well. But Brendan Aronson was all over the pitch. Fantastic. And Fulham were at 6s and 7s. And how Leeds didn't score a couple, at least get 1 goal back, I will never know. The one where it's pinging round in the box and somehow they don't put it in the net. If you're one of those Leeds fans behind the goal, it must have been pretty, well, you must be tearing your hair out, quite honest. Watching your team just fail to score when you had so many Gil's Edge chances. And that would have made it a really nervy ending to the game. Would have been completely unnecessary as well. We were unlucky, I think. Mitro's disallowed goal, it was offside. There's no debate over that. It was quite far offside, actually, on the replay. But it was a shame because I don't think he needed to be offside to score that goal. It was a fantastic ball from Cedric Suarez. I think Mitro just needed to look across the line a bit better. It would have been so good for his confidence as well, I think, to get one back. We know that Mitro needs a goal. I'm hoping that maybe just the scoring feeling might be enough to just give him that bit of confidence back. I know he'll know it was offside and stuff like that, but I just wonder if it's that scoring feeling, the ball leaving your head, hitting the back of the net, the crowd celebrating because we thought it was a goal, might just may give him that feeling of like what it's like to score a goal again. But yeah, I mean, fortunately, Marcus made those changes at the end of the game. Harrison Reed coming on, Decadova Reed, Willian, which mostly shored things up, particularly Harrison Reed, just getting in there, getting about, just getting back some control in the midfield, kind of started to limit Leeds' chances. And I think Leeds knew once it was getting towards the 90th minute that there's no way they're scoring 2. And once there was only a couple of minutes of added time as well, it faded away, thank God. But there was a moment where if Leeds had scored, it would have been a horrible, nervy end to the match. No one wanted extra time. So thank God we held on, rode our luck, somehow kept a clean sheet. I don't know if we could really be like giving ourselves, I mean, yes, you can. We all got to be celebrating about a clean sheet, but I don't know if it was all us for the reason that we got the clean sheet. I wouldn't say it was that impressive defensively sometimes. I'd say it was more Leeds messing things up. Let's go through some of your questions then. Loads of them coming in. Thank you so much for those. Frequency 43, we'll be able to keep Manor next season. I hope so. I want to learn more. I'm going to try and get a bit more at Peter on the podcast. What is the deal with the Manor Solomon situation? I'm pretty confident he's staying. I think it's just trying to work out. I think Shakhtar will want potentially more money now. I don't exactly know how that works. It's kind of a weird one because it's not really a loan. It's more of like a 1-year contract he's on. It's so up in the air and murky, everything that happened when the Ukraine war started, and then Shakhtar kind of had this ruling by UEFA where they were almost like made to sell some of their players, really. So I think it's incredibly, unclear what's going to happen. I'd just be confident, though, on a personal level that I think Manor really enjoys it here. He's broken into the Premier League. He's playing for a club that's on the way up. I mean, if one of the big clubs came in for him, that might be a challenge, but I'm just going to be, let's hope that actually Fulham can get that one across the line. And, Fulham, helped him through his big injury and stuck by him, etc., etc. So that's the hope. But he's clearly a very good player, and there's going to be a lot of interest in him. And I bet there's a few clubs just inquiring as to what exactly that arrangement is, because, 4 goals in 4 speaks for itself. Rob Lynn, what was your opinion of sitting in the new stand for the first time? Yeah, I sat in the Riverside last night. We'll come on to tickets a little bit. The atmosphere was shit last night, and it's not Fulham fans' fault. I mean, Riverside's fine. How they are charging £100 for that, I mean, it's not finished. It's just not finished by any stretch. It felt like a house that maybe you could live in, but it's, a bit like my house, the house you could live in, but it's not ready. It's not done. You couldn't host guests. I mean, there's kind of like unplastered plasterboard everywhere. It needs the plasters in, needs the decorators in. It's like an undecorated house, basically, is what it is. It's quite nice. I mean, like the concourse area is good compared to the hammy end. That is enjoyable and get served fairly easily. The queues for the toilets really bad. I mean, worse than the Hammersmith end. At least you can get to the toilets, but when you get to the toilets, it's a massive queue as well. So the view's fantastic. Can't knock the view at all. You feel like you're on the pitch almost. I was on the Riverside upper, but just in the front bit of that. So I was just looking over that tier. And I mean, yeah, it's an incredible view from there. But no, also incredible that they are charging such top whack for something that is clearly kind of in beta mode, facilities wise. So yeah, great view. Going to be nice when it's finished, but it's just so far from being finished. How will we keep Palhinha next season? Get into Europe. I think that'd probably be the key thing. And then I'm pretty sure we definitely keep him. I do think with Zhao as well, there feels like an element of like giving us only one season might be a bit too soon. He's also no spring chicken. He's not like he's 23. So that's my other hope, is that he's kind of in the prime of his career now, which might be an argument for why actually he would want to leave this summer, because time's of the essence. But I don't know, sometimes you just have a feeling with these things that it's going to be all right. I mean, there's going to definitely be teams wanting to sign in this summer, no doubt. But again, especially if we get into Europe or we really achieve something special in the cup, I think it might be enough to convince him that Fulham's a good home for him. He seems to enjoy it. Harris, all right, mate, how you doing? The attendance is around 19K. How much do you think Fulham have inflated that from reality? I do actually think that probably 19 felt about right, but it's still a big dip from our full attendance. The capacity is 25,000. So that's 6,000 empty seats. If you look around the Hammersmith end, there was a big empty gap. There's massive empty gaps in the Johnny Haynes as well. I think that probably would amount to 6,000. The thing that you've got to bear in mind is, whilst that might only be a 6,000 drop from a game like Wolves, I think it was about 24,500 that came to Wolves. We gave the Leeds fans the full Putney end last night. Normally there's only 2,000 away fans. Last night there was 6,000 away fans. That's a drop of about 9,000 home fans from a regular league match, which I think is a massive indication of how many people stayed away last night. I was really in a foul mood about it for the first 20 minutes. Fortunately, the goals and the atmosphere and the game cheered me up a bit at first, though, and I just looked at it. I just couldn't help but just feel massively disappointed. And what could have been such a special night last night under the lights at the Cottage, it was fine. It just had massive kind of friendly vibes. Carabao Cup energy. Second round is what it felt like last night. Not an FA Cup 5th round win that's taken us to a first quarter final in 13 years. It was just shit. And Marco said in his Monday press conference that he wants full houses at the Cottage and that he wants as many fans there to support the team, which I think is his subtle way of saying, like, this can't happen again. I want full houses to back the team. Colin Booger, is it too early to be building a Tim Ream statue? I think we've got to be in the planning works already. Absolutely. I want a statue of Tim Ream doing a slide tackle. Just imperious last night again. Loads of clearances off the line. His confidence is just insane. He feels like he can Cruyff turn anyone at the moment. It's incredible, and I just can't wait. I just want this to continue forever, and we know it can't, but Tim Ream, sensational. Another brilliant game. Tactics is very weird. Lukic played very, very high and fullback seemed further up the pitch and were caught out loads. Yeah, I agree. Particularly Suarez. Like, sometimes we were 2-0 up and Suarez is like playing like a right winger. It's like, let's protect our lead. And yeah, Lukic was very high as well, almost kind of breaking into that kind of number 10 position a little bit. I think there was an element of just new players bedding in, maybe not knowing exactly where they need to be on the pitch. Particularly noticed that with Lucas and Suarez. I thought they were good. I thought we could see glimpses, but I think they need to bed into our system a bit more. Be interesting to see how Lukic and Reed can cope against Brentford on Monday. It's such a shame that we're missing Palhinha for that, and hopefully they can step up to that level. How good was Solomon from James Sinot? Yeah, incredible, really. I can't believe we've got him. I love him to pieces. I just want him to he just needs to get that full fitness, get that 90 minutes. Marcus Silva still doesn't trust him clearly for the full 90. So yeah, that was brilliant. And Richard's so proud of the lads. Great night at the Cottage. Oh no, great night at the College. He says, Cottage, yes. A really, really good night, Richard. And a fantastic evening, a fantastic win. I'm really, really excited to see. I'm like a kid at Christmas when we go on a cup run. Can't wait to see who we get in the quarterfinals. I'm confident that we'll give anyone a game, particularly at the Cottage as well. Clearly, there are a couple of teams that you'd rather avoid. City went through last night. That's an obvious one. It would be great if we could just not play them. And United look brilliant. We'll see if they get through against West Ham tonight. There's also the kind of Spurs. Brighton wouldn't be an easy game either, particularly at the Amex. There are some good teams in the quarterfinals, but my also feeling on this is that if we're going to win the FA Cup, we're going to have to face one of the big boys and beat them at some point if you want to win the cup. So bring it on. Like, whoever we get, especially if it's at home as well. Like, look, if we get City away, I'm going to be a bit gutted. But anyone at Craven Cottage, I'll be fine with. Like, yes, would I love to get Grimsby at home? Yes, of course I would. But anyone at the Cottage for me. And then I think we can take them on. If it's United, if it's Spurs, if it's City, even if it's the Cottage, I'm pretty confident that we can get that. And Jim has put this right here. No one is going to want to draw Fulham at the Cottage. 100%. All of those teams, everyone's going to be thinking maybe if Fulham at home, we can take them on and beat them. But Fulham at the Cottage. And if we do play a game at the Cottage, fingers crossed that Fulham won't make the same fuck-ups as they did in the Leeds game. They will get a packed house in there and we can really make a great atmosphere. It's going to be a fantastic match, whoever it is. But yeah, it'd be fantastic if we really could get a game at the Cottage. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the quick take today. It's normally Jack Kelly doing the quick takes these days, but I said I'd step in for this one. Going to be a new podcast out tomorrow with myself, Jack, and Peter, looking back at last night's game and previewing Monday's game against Brentford. So that should be out on Thursday. But until then, have a great day. Come on, you Whites.